पलते हैं, इंसानी खून से पलते हैं, जो नफरत की बुनियादें हैं और खूनी खेत खाते हैं। मैं बाप की हूँ, मैं बाप हूँ। वो जिनके होश की शिद्दत से, वो जिनकी आंख की लज्जत से कानून बदलते रहते हैं और मुजरिम बनते रहते हैं, और चोरों के सरदारों से, इंसाफ के पहरेदारों से मैं बाप हूँ।
Today I will share with you some shocking facts about Benazir Bhutto's assassination. Many in the West felt that the corruption charges that kept on swirling around Bhutto and her husband were, to paraphrase Hillary Clinton, a vast government conspiracy to destroy her political ambitions. Bhutto continued to plead innocence and claimed that all evidence was concocted. Reference from Huffington Post. There are very few references that actually quoted these things. Benazir even accused European banks of being in on the conspiracy. Why would the Swiss do this to me? She wailed. Maybe the Swiss are trying to divert attention from the Holocaust, gold scandal, very important point. Many people don't know about this. Again, extremely rarely reported. Remember शहबाज शरीफ, नवाज शरीफ, ओ भाई जरदारी के ये पैसे कहाँ से आए, ये $6 अरब कहाँ से आए? You know, the intelligence, the top intelligences, CIA, etc., they deliberately, transferred black money in her accounts to blackmail her later on. These are their tactics. You have to know about this. And Shehbaz Sharif, Nawaz Sharif, they played into these tactics and they tried to, blackmail Zardari afterwards. Remember that? So they were also, becoming pawns to the Americans. So these are their tactics, The black money transferred into her account to blackmail her later on. Benazir said the financiers of the terrorist groups were the ones she was most concerned about. She also disclosed facts on the killers of Osama bin Laden.
Earlier I'm talking about this Bhutto clip. And there's huge implications here because the ISI is really set up by British intelligence. And then in the 70s and 80s, even in the 90s, revamped through U.S. intelligence. Very close ties. Even the Wikipedia page on it really reveals this. And then you find out that this guy, Omar Saeed Sheikh, is the right-hand man of General Mahmoud Ahmed. Mahmoud Ahmed is the one who orders a $100,000 wire transfer just before 9/11 through Omar Saeed Sheikh to Muhammad Atta. So these guys have some kind of financial connection, okay? And bin Laden probably still thought he was an asset at this point because they hadn't killed him. We were well into, the Afghanistan invasion and even the Iraqi invasion when this occurs, and Bhutto says that this guy, Saeed Sheikh, murdered bin Laden. And now Hirsch is saying that, Cheney was running CIA death squads, and one of their targets was indeed Bhutto. Hit the clip.
There was one report that said that you had arranged to send President Musharraf a letter to be sent in the event of your death by assassination, urging him to investigate certain individuals in his government. Is that true?
Yes, it is true that I wrote to General Musharraf. I received information from General Musharraf that a friendly country had passed on to them the information that I could be attacked by a gang from the Afghan warlord Baitullah Masood, or by Hamza bin Laden, the son of Osama bin Laden, or by the Pakistani Taliban in Islamabad, or by a group in Karachi. So I sent back a letter saying that while these groups may be used, I thought it was more important to go after the people who supported them, who organized them, who could possibly be the financiers or the organizers of the finance for those groups. And I named 3 individuals who I thought were their sympathizers. Now I understand that I could be wrong and my suspicions could be misplaced. But these are the people that I suspect want to stop the restoration of democracy. They want to stop my return because they know in 1993, when Pakistan was on the brink of being declared a terrorist state, I stopped the rise of terrorism. And they know that I can do it again. So I feel that these are the forces that really want to stop not just me, but the democratic process and the will of the people from triumphing.
And in terms of these three people that you mentioned, were they members of or associated with the government?
Yes, well, one of them is a very key figure in security. He's a former military officer. He is someone that has had dealings with Jaish-e-Mohammed, one of the banned groups, with Maulana Azhar, who was in an Indian jail for decapitating 3 British tourists and 3 American tourists. And he also had dealings with Umar Sheikh, the man who murdered Osama bin Laden. Now I know that having dealings with people does not necessarily mean direct evidence, but I also know that internal security has totally collapsed.
All right,
Pakistan.
let's pull it right there. You know, the guy never follows up and acts like, murdered Osama bin Laden, Omar Sheikh. I don't know anything about that. So this Hirsch thing, hopefully it will develop. We really need to see more Hirsch on either the Alex Jones show or my show or both.
So why did the Pakistani media not cover this? Because they had vested interests in the Western authorities. For them, this was an off-limit information, because Pakistani media was heavily paid by the West. Now, if she were elected in government, she would have even disclosed more facts on Osama bin Laden and 9/11. This would have been detrimental to CIA's future plans of Osama's false death in Pakistan in 2011. So who killed her? Obviously, the terrorists financed and aided by the American establishment. As for Musharraf, he did not help her in terms of security. He was aware about the planning of her assassination, but didn't involve himself in it, as during his presidency, he was just a puppet of the American establishment. तो ये कहना जी कि और ये मुशर्रफ ने मरवाया, जरदारी ने मरवाया, ये इतनी हकीकत वाली बातें नहीं हैं. ये ज़ाहिर बात है हमारे, क्योंकि पाकिस्तान छोटी छोटी आइडेंटिटियों पे हम एक दूसरे के ख़िलाफ़ एक दूसरे को टारगेट करना पसंद करते हैं, तभी हम इस तरह की वर्डिंग्स पे, इस तरह की फ्रेजियोलॉजी पे खेलते हैं. हालांकि इन लोगों ने डायरेक्टली नहीं मरवाया था, ये अमेरिका और जो लोअर ग्रुप्स थे अफ़गानिस्तान के, उन्होंने मिल के कराया था. So why did Zardari not talk about or investigated Benazir's assassination? Because he knew who the killers were, and if he investigated it, he feared that he would have been met by increasing Western pressure or even a possible assassination. So there's a very important journalist by the name Seymour Hersh, and he reported that Benazir was assassinated by a death squad run by CIA and Dick Cheney. So basically there are these lower groups in the militants, probably in Pakistan or Afghanistan, right? There were these lower groups that had connections with CIA, and what they did is that they funded these lower groups to do the dirty work. That's what they always do, right? Similarly, in the Benazir situation, Seymour Hersh reported that CIA and Dick Cheney were conducting death squads to kill Benazir Bhutto. And it's amazing that very few Pakistani media channels have reported this, but this is the truth. These were the people behind Benazir Bhutto's assassination. Benazir Bhutto unveiled, or was trying to unveil, the secrets, American plans of Osama bin Laden, of even Holocaust, all these kind of things she was unveiling. So she was turning against America. This was the issue to the American leaders, the CIA, Bush and Cheney, right? So this was pre-planned. These were the people behind Benazir Bhutto's assassination. And Zardari has always been fearful. This is the main reason, because it's America who was behind this. Yeah, the CIA is running death squads in Afghanistan. Reports of atrocities supported by the American intelligence agency underscore the need to end America's longest war. So there have been very few reports that have actually reported this, right? So they used the lower groups in Afghanistan to carry out the dirty work and killed and assassinated, martyred Benazir Bhutto.
बेनजीर भुट्टो के कत्ल के हकायक छुपाने की कोशिश तो आगाज ही से शुरू हो गई थी, जब उस वक्त के सेक्रेटरी दाखिला ब्रिगेडियर रिटायर्ड जावेद इकबाल चीमा ने अगले ही रोज एक प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में कहा कि मोहतरमा की मौत की वजह गाड़ी का लीवर लगना बनी। इसके बाद लाखों डॉलर खर्च करके स्कॉटलैंड यार्ड और अक़वाम मुत्तहिदा का कमीशन तक बुलाया गया, लेकिन मोहतरमा की शहादत की हतमी वजह सामने न आ सकी। न जाने तमाम तर हकायक में मोबाइल फोन के इस मुख्तसर से वीडियो क्लिप को क्यों नजरअंदाज किया जाता रहा, जिसमें बीबी के आखिरी लम्हात की मुकम्मल अक्सबंदी मौजूद है। इस 1 सेकंड के क्लिप का फ्रेम बाय फ्रेम जायजा लिया जाए तो साफ पता चलता है कि गोली चलने से पहले मोहतरमा अपनी जगह खड़ी हैं। इस दौरान 3 राउंड फायर होते हैं और फिर धमाका। वीडियो को स्लो मोशन में देखा जाए तो पहली गोली के चलते ही गाड़ी के पीछे लटके हुए अफराद ओट लेने की कोशिश करते हैं। दूसरी गोली की आवाज के साथ मोहतरमा के सर को झटका लगता दिखाई देता है, जिसके साथ ही उनका सर दाएं जानिब झुकता चला गया और वो तेजी से नीचे गिरती नजर आती है। जूम कर देखा जाए तो दूसरी गोली की आवाज के साथ ही मोहतरमा के बालों और दुपट्टे की हरकत भी गोली के लगने का पता देती है। मजीद देखिए, तीसरी गोली मोहतरमा के गाड़ी में गिरने के बाद चली और धमाका उसके बाद हुआ।
सदर मुमलिकत आसिफ अली जरदारी ने कहा कि मुल्क के खिलाफ साजिश करने वालों को उस दिन से डरना चाहिए जब सब शहीद हो जाएं और पाकिस्तान को बचाने वाला कोई न हो। उन्होंने अमेरिका का नाम लिए बगैर कहा कि मुल्क को कमजोर करने के लिए इदारों को कमजोर करने की साजिश की जाती है और इस साजिश से वो बाखबर हैं।
मगर उस दिन से डरो जब हम सब शहीद हो जाएं और पाकिस्तान को बचाने वाला कोई ना हो। अकल के नाखून करो, अपने अकल से पर्दे हटाओ, समझो कि पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ कॉन्स्पिरेसीज होती हैं। पाकिस्तान को सिर्फ अवाम बचा सकती है।
मजहब की जो बेवारी है वो सबसे बड़ी बीमारी है। जो झूठ का हद से आखिर है, उन झूठों और मक्कारों से, मजहब के ठेकेदारों से मेरे हाथ में हक का झंडा है, मेरे सर पर जुल्म का फंदा है। मैं मरने से कब डरती हूँ, मैं मरने से कब डरती हूँ। मैं मौत की खातिर जिंदा हूँ, मैं मौत की खातिर जिंदा हूँ। मेरे खून का सूरज चमकेगा तो बच्चा बच्चा बोलेगा मैं